Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Nishmas Mordechai. I live in Boca Raton, Florida. I started out with 8-minute daf and eventually moved to the whole thing. This past Friday, I fell, broke my hip, laid flat on my back to surgery when I had a hip replacement. Thank you so much for the chizik you gave me while in the hospital. It says on the bottom, no need to read this aloud. I just wanted you to know how much I appreciate all you do. But I'm reading it. Thank you so much for the chizuk. My stay was atrocious. Didn't have the right pain medicine, but the bottom line is, I had the Daf Yomi to enjoy. Mark, share, Manas Chaim ben Riva l'Refua Shlomo. Here's a wall display from the Jewish Day kindergarten in Manchester, showing different logos and prints that the children see around them and recognize. And there you are, from a grateful MDY Talmud, Avrum Epstein. What else? So I want to tell you as follows. Yesterday, two people stepped up to the plate very, very nicely for our new artist. Right after the shir, Leon Welcher called me up. He said, first of all, he wants to print 1,000 books of the first Masechta that Yoshi completes. It'll be like a merch thing. I don't know if I'm not going to give it for cost or whatever, but okay. And also, he wants to sponsor the very first day. So yishkoyach. Then I got a message from Mr. Anonymous from Lakewood. He said he wants to sponsor the very first month of Yoshi. So he sponsored $5,000. My wife overheard the conversation. So she tells me, it just means that he's not going to give you money for other stuff. That's what she said. So I said, because Baruch decides where it goes and how it comes. And 2 minutes later, he calls back and he says, oh, by the way, I want to give another $10,000 for the koilel and $250 per avrich for Hanukkah. So I looked at her and I said, no. What? I won't. He's one of the big sponsors of the koilel and whatever. So you should koyach to Mr. Anonymous, and it's all l'schus, his nieces shiduchim. The koilel is sponsored. May we always be able to support Torah, and may the Torah protect us from any harm. The Masechta is sponsored. Sgula Torah, Tומכיה, כיעקב ויעל. The Parnas HaChodesh, Jeff Rosner, Leilu Nishmas, Yosef Simcha Chaim, Zechraya ben ybl'c Chaim, Shlomo Yehuda, Parnas HaChodesh, Dr. Avrum Epstein, in memory of my dear departed loved ones, included in my recent yizkors. The Parnas HaChodesh, Leilu Nishmas Zechraya ben Moishe, Leilu Nishmas b'tzlאל ben Moishe. The Parnas HaYoim, the Kreymerman family, to my wife's grandfather's neshamah on the yortsait, Baruch ben Leib, Shlomo Grumet, for the yortsait of our brother, Grumet. Shlomo Grumet, thank you. For the yortsait of our brother-in-law, Naftali Matasio ben David Yosef, Zechariah Levracha, Leilu Nishmas Leib ben Avram David, Moishe Cohen, L'schos, my son's Benzi's bar mitzvah tonight. Is that Moishe Cohen that sponsors? No, you don't know. Okay. Mazel tov. You. To Yisrael and Mela Helperin. New great-grandparents. Wow. Oh my goodness. So the new grandparents, Chaim and Gail Helperin from Houston. Gail's a grandmother. Wow. Unbelievable. Gail is my... Unbelievable. Gail, the grandmother, is my sister-in-law's sister. So I know her since she's a little kid, and she's a grandmother. Unbelievable. And new parents, Malka and Shalom Salomon of Ramat Eshkol. It's a girl. Yivaldik. All right, Rabbi Isai, here we go. Today is the very first day of Yoshi's art, but I have to say he's not in full form because he was up all night the night before, so I gave him the day off. But the little that he did, let me show you. No, he did a lot, but it's a tziruf of the two of us. Fine, we'll see what's going on here. We only have 25 charts today. Yosef Rav Oven v'Rav Yitzchak b'Rav Kamei. We're holding 3 lines from the bottom of Chavtes Amud Beis. Kamei de Rabbi Yirmiyah. So Rav Oven and Rav Yitzchak were in front of Rabbi Yirmiyah. V'ka minamneim Rabbi Yirmiyah. So we have many times in Shas where an Amoira was falling asleep. A lot of times it's Rav. So like in between sleep and not sleep, able to hear but not really respond so well, and then wakes up. Yasvi v'Kreymerman, they said. The bar pod the domar pdon choizers v'koichos. So let's go through the charts that I forgot to show you yesterday. And I don't know where my head was yesterday, but okay. Akoponim goes like this. In the Mishnah it says, Hare, this is not from yesterday, this is from today. The next one is from yesterday. Hare netilos ha'elu korban achi katet. So a guy makes a neder, my fruit should be kadosh, should be like a korban, kedusha, until I take them off the tree. What does the Mishnah say? Last words in the Mishnah, you can look on Daf Chavches Amud Beis on the top. Ein lohem pidyon. What does it mean? There's 3 options. Ein lohem pidyon can mean you can never redeem it. Once a guy says you can't, the fruit is kadosh until I take it off the tree, you can't. It says in the Mishnah, Ein lohem pidyon, you can't redeem it. Well, that's not the pshat the Gemara says, because why can't you redeem? You can redeem everything. So that's pshat number 1. We throw that away. So it's either the green, you don't need a pidyon at all, or it means that you can't be paided before you take it off the tree. In other words, if you redeem it before you take it off the tree, it flips right back into kedusha the second later. Then you redeem it again, it flips back into kedusha again. You keep on redeeming it. You can't get it out of its state of kedusha, because he said achi katetsu, until you take it off the tree. So it's nothing you do, and then we even brought the Rashba that even if you sell your house on condition of moving to Eretz Yisrael, it's going to go back to the guy. It keeps on going back to. Okay, so that's Rav Pada is the blue. He says you can't be paida before you could be paida. It works for a millisecond, a fraction of a second, and it becomes kadesh. Based on that, so. This is just a cartoon I didn't show yesterday. That's from the cartoonist, not our guy. He says, Tagid, Mayatzabasov, Kedusha Paka B'chdi Allah. And you see on his ear, he's a Oila, he's a Shlamim, he's all mixed up. And the other guy's a Chatas. And what does he say, Benny? Die or di? But it's B'chdi. I wasn't sure. Okay. Anyway. So this is Yoshi's first piece of art for today. So he has what he did here. He tried to do how do you depict fruit that's kadosh and chulin? So the kadosh, they're yeshiva guys. One is a brisker, one is a chassid, and the chulin, the guy has a gun. The guy is smoking nevach. He's blowing gum. Okay, that's the kachim and the. So we have like this. In step one. No, seriously, like I enjoyed schmoozing with him because. Just the chaps, I don't know how to depict the stuff. I had until now. We had. How do you say something's kaddish? I write kaddish. He wrote kachim, kadoshim, whatever. But so step 1 it starts from the right, it goes to the left. Here you have underneath kamin amnim. Yeah, the Rabbi Yirmiyah is falling asleep and he hears this discussion. You have fruit that's kaddish. Then the guy redeemed it. That I did because. It was the middle of the night, he was already asleep. So I just took something, I took his hand that he did somewhere else, and I put it on their pushka. You paid it, you put money in the Beis HaMikdash, what happens? It becomes chulin, step 3. You can take fruit that are kadosh, and they become chulin. And then what? And then it flips right into step 4, it becomes kadosh again. Even though you redeemed it, so, okay. Based on this, if this is how it works, that you have something that's kadosh, you redeem it. It for a millisecond becomes chulin in step 3, and immediately goes back to become kaddish. Says the Gemara, this is what's going to happen. If a woman receives 2 kiddushins, 2 coins, you can see in the picture 2 coins. So she's married once. The guy gives her a get in step 2. That's like redeeming the fruit, take them out of the kedusha. She becomes available to the world. And then step 4 is she becomes kaddish again. She becomes mukudeshes again based on the original act that the guy did. If a guy makes an original act with fruit on top, in step one, he says, you're Kaddish until further notice, until I take you off the tree. So no matter what, you redeem, you get, whatever you do, it jumps right back to step one. So here also, I take an act, I say, listen, you're Mekudeshes twice, so she becomes Mekudeshes, she leaves him, and then she comes back to him based on the original Kesef Kiddushin that he gave her in the first step. That's what they want to say. Is according to Bar Pada that if you have fruit that are kachim and you took it out of the kedusha, you made it chulin. They jump back and become kadosh. Tifshoid, I could prove from here, top of Lamed Amud Aleph, the buyer Rabbi Shaya had a question. A person gives 2 times the amount necessary, 2 prutas, and he says, with one of these coins, I want you to become Mekudeshes today. So she becomes Mekudesh today in picture number 1. Just to explain to you what happened here. He made those, he calls them assets. He made those fruit, and he made also the pictures of the Kiddushin and the Get, and I had to put it together because he just ran out of time. So this I did in the morning, with the arrows, and you could see my work. It's not his stuff. Okay, just Hachinami, the Havi Kiddushin. So they talk about those Leilu. Forget that for now. You could ask that on a lot of different things. There's what about fruit? The Ran talks about it in fruit. It's this. It's coming. It's okay. Fine. What do you mean? You're allowed to make Kiddushin. Are you asking about Kiddushin? You can make a Kiddushin from here in a month from now. Yeah. He gave her the money today. Whoa, he gave her money today. And it's Chal tomorrow. Why not? Let's say there's no Gerushin. It works in a month from now. What do I care that something happened in between? So that Gufa, we're going to something else now. What you're discussing is that, and that's why it's similar to our story, that there's a situation in between day 1 where he gave her the money and day 30 where he married her for the second time. There's a situation where that money couldn't do anything to her because she was already married to him. So the money, you couldn't do anything with it. You're asking if they weren't married, I could give money in day 1 and get married in day 30. That everybody agrees that's Mishnayos and Kiddushin. So what's your problem? You're probably asking because in this middle, between day 1 and day 30, they were married and the money couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't be Mekadesh again. You can't be Mekadesh a woman a second time. The same thing with the fruit. It's Kaddish, so you can't make it a Kaddish again, and then only after you take it out of Chulin, it becomes Kaddish again. Okay. That's what they discuss. Fine. Why would a person do this? Why would he be Mekadesher and then be Megarisher Mekadesher? So, 1 or 2 reasons the Rishonim say, or not so much the Rishonim, the Achroinim say that maybe he wanted to be Mekayim, the mitzvah of Machzik Yerusait, or he told her, he said, listen, you're certainly not worth it as a first wife, but maybe for Zivik Sheni you're worth it. Okay. That went over very well. Huh?
Maybe say, I love you so much, I want to marry you twice.
Fine. I'll go on him. Itar Bahu Rabbi Yirmiyah. Rabbi Yirmiyah jumps up. He says, whoa, I think I just heard something. I say this many times. I used to own a sleep lab. And maybe one thing that I learned from the sleep lab is that people hear 100% everything that's going on in their sleep. Just the brain chooses not to wake up. It says, that's not important, that's not important, that's not important. Then you hear your name, you wake up. You hear your alarm, you wake up. But all the other noise, the snoring and the this and the kids screaming, that you don't hear, especially if you're the guy, you don't hear your baby crying, nothing disturbing. Why? Your ears are open, they don't close. It's not like eyes. They're open, they hear everything. Fine. He's in between consciousness and not conscious, but he hears the conversation. He's just not actively involved in the conversation. Now he wakes up. What What's the zushtel? What's the dimyon? What's the comparison? Pedan hu l'b'daim acherim. You're telling me a case of the fruit on top is where he did everything. He's the only one involved. He's the one redeeming the fruit from kachim, and it goes right back. But when it comes to a woman in a get, it's as if somebody else is involved there. There's a difference, says Rabbi Yochanan. If you're yourself the only one involved in the story, so then your initial act keeps on going all the way through. So even though you made a little bit of a hefsek in between, you took it out of kachim, it goes back to kachim. You're the only one involved. So whatever you did in the beginning lasts to the end. But once you involve another human being here, whatever act you took in the beginning gets erased, gets stopped by somebody else getting involved in the situation. When a woman gets divorced, somebody else gets involved there. How does somebody else get involved there? So over here you have a ran that's a bomb. You have to remember this ran for the rest of your life. It's like 10 lines down from where it gets wide. And he says, let me read it inside. When a woman agrees to marry a man, he mivateles daita urutzoina. She gives in. She says, "Okay, I'm maskim." Umeshavia nafsha eitzel abal, and she makes herself to the husband kedavar shel hefker. She makes her body into hefker, and then the husband comes and scoops her up from hefker. That's how the Ran learns. That's why it makes sense. You could be mekadosh a woman for a pruta. A woman is not worth a pruta. A woman is worth millions. But when she makes herself hefker, when she says, "Okay, I want to be mekadosh to you," she's not involved in the kinyan. She just makes herself hefker. I don't know if this is going to hurt women that are listening, not listening. I don't know, but that's how he says it works in terms of the mechanics behind it. So in Mela, he says the woman is involved there. When she gets a get, all of a sudden becomes another human being. There's more interaction here with another person. That second person stops everything beforehand. So now the two prutas that he gave her in step one, that's it. They're done because somebody else jumped into the picture. Who's that somebody else? She herself. It's not just him.
Once she accepts it, it's not considered to be one.
Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Yossi Nuzma. I didn't want to be Mvashi. Now I see you have no busha. Shalom Aleichem. From where are you? 5 towns. Okay, Shalom Aleichem. What's your kasha? By the way, all questions, you don't know, but all questions are predetermined and we speak about them beforehand. Yeah, what?
Once she was makabel with money, so she gave her das, and I mean it's the buckle. Her das is no longer someone else being played with her.
I hear, but you still need a second person. Because
she did it already on the second
one. Right, but I hear what you're saying, but what she had das back then she became already koni to somebody, then she acquired herself back. What does the get do? It acquires herself back. So then she just became it's a new thing. What she said 3 days ago she's going to do, I don't think makes enough gemina today. No, she doesn't accept the guilt now. She accepted the guilt in step one. Right now she accepted herself. She just received herself back from Hefker. Until now she's like Hefker and somebody else was kinder. The get gives her back her freedom and she can marry anybody she wants. So now she's going to say, okay, now I'm going to go back to step one. Let me take that money from step one. But now she's a new person. It's not just him doing the kinyan. She's a person receiving that money that she got in step one. You have what I'm saying? Woman, when is the kinyan chal? At the second time she gets married. It's chal when she gets married the second time. She has to again be mafker herself. In order for that money, she can't be mafker herself once in step one for 2 times. Each time she has to be mafker herself, says the Ran.
In the case where she accepts it for a 30-day kedusha, the mice when she accepts it, does she now have an opportunity to say
That's exactly the sugi we had yesterday. Could she have charata or not? That's exactly the shaila. But over here, regardless, even if you say she could have charata or can't have charata, at the end of the day, since she received the get, she can't use her hefker that she did in the beginning because we just undid the hefker. So you're going to hold her to it? You know what I'm saying? It's like, there's another human being involved there. Okay. Ayin Sham. In yeshiva, you're right. We'd be down here for hours and days, maybe weeks. How it works exactly. Is it the hefker she did in the beginning? Is the hefker a new hefker? Do you have to make a new hefker? Okay, fine. Zog the Gemara. But Yishkoich for coming. We love Tamid Chacham like yourself. Givaldik. Bring more. Yeah. Shalom Aleichem. Jack Nusbel. Are you really? Did you bring him in, or he's stop checking it out?
We brought him. We're trying.
I'm going to show that guy. I'm going to ask him. I'm going to slug him up Milshire. Yeah. He's good. Okay, good. 204? 217. F217. I'm not going to remember that. Okay. Oh, yeah? The jacket, the whole thing? Oh, what number? Oh, my. MDY division, Rabbi Isai, MDY division. I need a number though. What number?
1.
Oh. MS, Magichir, 1. Got it. Zog the Gemara, Yishkoyach, thank you. I need a new house to put all the merch. Like it's not even a. Yeah, I didn't build a new floor. I'm redoing the new floor. Okay. Okay, we see the same Yisod. Here you have Rabbi Yochanan talking about Rabbi Yochanan. That everything is good if he himself is involved. Once you involve another human being, the mice he does in the beginning doesn't work anymore. Says the Mishnah. The Mishnah is the official Mishnah Schus for Ketiyat Tzlach and Limud Torah. Hanoide miyorde hayam, mutar biyoshvei hayabasha. Oh, fine. Did I skip something?
No. Yeah, I think you did.
I did. What did I say?
Can we do it tomorrow?
No, I just made a picture over here of. I put 2 hands. One is somebody else's hand, and one is his hand. Okay, fine. Just to show the nafkamina between somebody else doing the pidyon, that's the step where somebody else gets involved, it ruins everything. Zog the Gemara, says the Mishnah. So, in the beginning I had something else, I got a surfboard. Here I thought, Yordayam, a guy that goes deep into the ocean. He goes deep, down. That's not literal. Literal Yordayam means somebody that travels on the sea. Mutter b'yashvei hayabasha. So this is also his idea. He didn't do this chart, but his idea was, I was like, how do you show somebody making a neder? And the problem with the neder for drawing it is that it's counterintuitive. Because over here you have Noam making a neder. He's saying, I won't benefit from anybody that works on a submarine, that goes on the ocean. Anybody that does that stuff, I have nothing to do with it. So is that a check or a X? What is that? The neder works, so maybe it's no good. He can't benefit from them. So you could go both ways. You could do a green check or a red X. I'm going throughout the Masechta. I'm doing a green check. In other words, it works. What happens when it works? You can't benefit from it. Fine, but it works. What it doesn't work for is people that live on land and don't go on the ocean. So X, his neder does not work at all. He's mutter to have anah from anybody that lives on land. People that travel and go on a ship, that's a neder. What if his neder was this? His neder was, I'm not going to benefit from anybody that lives in the land. Asur miyarde hayam. So then the neder is also chal for anybody that's in a boat. Why? Because everybody that's on a boat eventually is going to get to land. They live on land most of their life. Just once in a while they go on a boat. Now, there are those who go on the shore of Eretz Yisrael from Akot to Yafo. So it's not a very long trip, and it's not a dangerous trip. It's not really considered. Let me ask you something. If you go on Chalamoid with your family, and you go into Kinneret on a speedboat, are you a Yordei Ayam? Do you have to say Goimel? What if you go on the Staten Island ferry? Do you have to say a Goimel? You go from here to Staten Island ferry, and if you drown, if the ship goes down, you're probably going to die. How can you survive going down in the middle of that water? It's a serious water. What if you go on a cruise ship, Avi? Avi, I'm talking to you. What do you mean, what? I'm going to kick you out of shir in a second. Okay, talk to Mordechai. But no, seriously, if you go on a cruise ship, do you have to say a goimel? Did you say goimel when you came back?
Why not?
You say goimel? Why not? I don't know, because...
Cruise ship, you said?
Okay.
Keep ocean, you said?
Stand on a ferry, not. Cruise ship, yes.
stand on
Okay, say it. I mean, Anila Shitasi and Avi also... When was the last time a cruise ship went down? It went down once. They had a situation where... But it doesn't matter. Some people say it doesn't matter. Everybody that flies says this. But those who don't say going on flying because it's the safest mode of transportation, they won't say on a cruise ship. Fine. I guess briskers won't say on a cruise ship. They will never be on a cruise ship. But if they go on a cruise ship, fine.
You're safer than it's already left.
Exactly. Not a joke. How many women do you know that come to Eretz Yisrael and get in a rent-a-car and start driving? It's kemat not shaykh. It takes like 6 years to start driving here in Israel. So it is probably a little bit more dangerous to drive from here to Bnei Brak than to get on a cruise ship. No? Says the Mishnah, we're talking about people that are going out to the ocean. Okay. But the point is, if it's not a sakana, if it's on the shore, you went out there, you could drown. Possibly there's people, I know people that drown on the shore. It happens unfortunately all the time in the Kinneret, in the ocean, at the beach. But it's not considered a voyage out to the sea. And Memela, that's not what he meant in his neder. Rav Papa, v'Rav Acha b'Reder Rav Ika, chad masni areisha, v'chad masni aseifa. This thing, Akotiyafa. Akotiyafa is not a trip. It is a trip. What are they talking about? So let's look again. This is the Reisha. I put there, it says Reisha. His neder was against people that go to the ocean. It does not include people on the land. The Seifa is, he made a neder against people that live on land. It also includes people that are on a boat. So, man de masni areisha. So if you say the Reisha, it's a kula. Why is this a kula, Rabbi Zai? Because his neder does not include something. It doesn't include people that live on land. So it's a lesser neder. It's a kula. Saying, he made a neder that everybody that's on the ocean, I'm not going to benefit from, but it doesn't include 99% of the world. That's a massive kula. And then it says, man the masna reisha, masna chanoi, the miyordei ayam, mutter b'yoshvi abasha. He's mutter in the Yeshua. Habiyordei ayam asur, but those who travel by sea is asur. V'loi ke'elu, and here's the kula, ha'olchim akol yafa. The guy, that little surfer guy, he's on the shore. He's not a yordei ayam. He's not included in my neder. So the kula is that it doesn't include people that are just traveling on speedboats and surfing and larger boats that are maybe take a day, they say, even to get from, I don't know how long it took to get from Akka to Yafa. Let's say it took a whole day. It's a short, in terms of the time in the Gemara, when people go out for 6 months on the sea and have them come back to go next to the shore from Akka to Yafa is nothing. That's not what he meant. Okay. It's only talking about people that they go on a real ship. But those who say, what? Okay, my Gemara says Lefarish, but okay, the Chassidim, that's how they wrote it. Lefaresh. Rami says Lefarish. Lefarish, okay. There's no Vav there, so you have to put a Chaylam. I hear. I like it. We'll go Lefarish. You're right. How's the Arshul say it? Arshul knows it. Well, Mesifta and this is the same. Says Vahada. What do you say? Lefaresh. Sorry, Rosh Chaylam. But they know what they're talking. They're medactic. They're serious medactic. Okay, fine. Uman de masna seifa. As long as I didn't read it wrong, the guy wrote it. Fine. Man de masna seifa masna hachi. Here's the seifa. That he says a neder against somebody that lives. I'm not going to have any benefit from anybody that lives on the ground. Hanoider, and he says like this. So he says, I'm not going to have anything to do with people that live on the land. That also means Yordayam, because everybody that goes on a cruise ship, on a ship, on any ship, on a submarine, they all live on the ground once in a while. And also, and included in that, so it also includes surfers and everything. So now there's a massive chumrah. Everybody in the world, 100% of the population, is included in his neder, serious chumrah. Ela afilu b'mi shedarka lefarish hoyel v'sayfer li'abasha salik. Okay, because at the end of the day, even the surfer is going to come out of the water and he lives on land. Says the Mishnah in Schus Tniya Tzlach Limud Torah. Hanoida, I feel bad for this guy. Maybe we'll give him a little discount because every 5 minutes is another $100. He wants his name to be said. Is he the one that sponsored today also? Did he had a Simcha? That's him? So it says Moishe Cohen. Mazel tov Moishe Cohen. Hanoida miroya achamo. If somebody makes a neder against people that see the sun, Asur af besumim, that includes even blind people who can't see the sun. Because what's his kavana when it comes to Nedarim? What's his kavana? Elmi shachama roya oisan, people that the sun sees them, not they see the sun. By the way, in Shasidin, so right next to me was Rabbi Yaakov Adas, and he asked a question. He said, where in Shas does it say the word saginar, which is also a lashon of a blind person? And I didn't know that. Very good, Rav Sheishes. You could be in Shasidin. But where is it? What Masechta? Brachas. Only twice in Shas does it say saginar. And he explained, because Rav Sheishes knew it better than everybody else, Memela, he saw it. That's it. What? Ooh. I'm Shasidin. Wow, you just took up the whole level of the share. Oh my God. Bekim over here. A very interesting thing happened to me yesterday, and I remembered, I tied in the story here. There was a Maisa where, okay, yeah, it's fine. We could do what you want me to stop in the middle of Lamed Aleph from Lamed Aleph. We'll stop. Even fine. We started a little late. A Maisa Shahaya where somebody built a building, built out, and it happens in Eretz Yisrael. A lot, unfortunately, people build without permission, without the proper paperwork, and he blocked the sunlight in this guy's house. And the guy was going back and forth. Should he say something? Should he make a machah? Should he go to the authorities? And he decided to be mevater. And then what turned out was that somebody offered him a nice amount of money on his apartment, more than he wanted, or the asking price, because they specifically couldn't handle sunlight. They were allergic to the sunlight. Just yesterday, I was walking home from here to my house, and a lady was screaming on top of her lungs. You saw this? At the owner of a certain Moishe that's next door to us, because there's weddings and bar mitzvahs to 2:00 in the morning. She said, "You're Russia, my kids can't sleep, and I asked you 100 times, and I haven't slept, and anything." And she was screaming and screaming. So I walked over to her. I said, "Rebbetzin." She said, "You don't call me Rebbetzin." Okay, fine. I said, "Listen, I hear you 100%. I get you." She goes, "You don't understand me. If you understood me, you would make a machal." So I said, "I promise you, I understand you. Meanwhile, the guy slipped away with his wife, and they ran away, and we ended up schmoozing over there. But so I said, "You need to sell your place because they're never going to stop doing weddings there. It's nice income for them." She says, "Who's going to buy it? Who's going to buy it if there's so much noise? I can't sell to anybody. I can't even put somebody in that position." I said, "Sell to a deaf person." But Akoponim, I remember this thing now. Summa, there's some people, I'm serious. There's some people, no, I gave her, I said, sound machine, earplugs. She goes, "I put on the air conditioner in the winter, and I close the windows, and I still have noise." I mean, I'm not felt bad for her. Fine. Donnie, you have any? Are you deaf? I got the perfect place for you. It's like, but we can't say it's like the sun because there's so much noise. They liked it because there's so much noise because they finally start hearing. There's so much noise that even a deaf person can hear. Okay, fine. Zok Tigmar, my timer. What's pshat? He said chama, roy chama. Midloi ka'amar min haroyin. He didn't say min haroyin. Lafuke dogim vu barim. Midloi ka'amar min haroyin. He didn't say people that could see. It's the sun that sees you. So what was he trying to exclude? He's only trying to exclude fish that are covered. Taisus explains they're covered by water. They might see the sun, or the sun could see them, but the sun doesn't really see them because there's a hefsek. There's water, vu barim, and fetuses. Thank you. Where do we have ubarim in this week's parasha? Yaakov and Esav. We have ubarim. 2. Says the Eli Mishnah. By Moishe Cohen is chos for continue atzlach and limit Torah. Hanoidim mishchayra roish. Somebody says somebody that has dark hair. What does he mean? Also bekerchen, bald people, ubali sevois, and old people, even people that have white hair. Yeah. So, I don't know if this is true. I heard once that somebody that's bald in the front means that he's a thinker, he thinks. Somebody that's bald in the back means that he's a big chacham. So somebody that's bald, both front and back, he thinks that he's a chacham. Yeah, the bald man liked it. Because when he says black-haired people, he's talking about men. He's not talking about the color of the hair. He's talking about a specific type of person. So I just did this as a thing. If a guy says, makes it much more clear. Guy says, I am mudar hana, I have nothing to do with people that have black hair. All the people that are men, whether they have white, or they're bald, or they have hair, or they're blonde, all these things are included in his nether. You can't have benefit from them. What's not included in his nether are children, women, girls, little kids. All those are not included in shchayr. My time out. Because he didn't say people that have hair. He wasn't talking about bald or not bald. He was talking about a color. So once it doesn't include bald people as a color, so in Mela we have to understand that it's talking about men and not just the color. My timer. Anashim, listen to this one. This is a bomb. Anashim zimnin the mekasir rishayu. Zimnin the megal rishayu. Men sometimes don't cover their hair. They don't wear a yarmulke. So says Taisus over here on the side. You can check it out. He says that la halacha, you don't have to wear a yarmulke. You could go out, but he doesn't say always. Once in a while, you walk out without a yarmulke. Now, we know that not wearing a yarmulke is it's worse than avodah zarah, shvichas damim. There's nothing worse. Like when a guy goes off the derech, what's the first thing you say? Yeah, he stopped wearing a yarmulke. You don't say, he stopped wearing tefillin. No, he stopped wearing tefillin. No, not a big deal. He stopped wearing a yarmulke. Mamish shegit. So what's pshat? So the Taz says that nowadays it's a massive chumrah, it's a massive isser. He says big isser. But what's pshat? You see in the Gemara that people used to walk around without yarmulkes. You see Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, his mother decided to be machmir and put a yarmulke on him when he was a kid. And the one day he didn't put it on. But you see that they weren't really wearing yarmulkes all the time. The Torah says you don't have to wear all the time. Then I realized the Chaim Sofer says beautiful. He explains it very nicely. And b'didi ava uvda, unfortunately, it's a story. Maybe I shouldn't say berabim, so don't put it on. But when I was 19 years old, I went to Rome. And when you go to Rome, what is there to do in Rome? It's mamish boring over there. You see the Shartitos, whatever. So I wanted to go into the Sistine Chapel. I didn't realize that it's a problem. I said, it's not an active church. They don't pray there. It used to be a church. So I go in there. Me and one other guy from Chaim Berlin, we walk in there. And the guy says, there's a guy, guard. He points to the sign. He says, no yarmulke, no cap, nothing. I'm already here. I got to see the Sistine Chapel. So I took off my yarmulke. The guy said it's awesome. So I'm not going to fight with him. So I went without a yarmulke. Says Chaim Sofer, that's the problem. The Oived Avodah Zarah does not allow a yarmulke. You can't have a covering. Mimela, in our days, you mechuyev to undo that. You have to do the opposite of that. You have a chiyuv gomer. Today it's a chiyuv gomer. So I just, again, it goes back to the Gebruks, it goes back to the Streimel, it goes back to all those things that, what do we make the ikr in Yiddishkeit? That became like mamish the ikr when it turns out there's maybe not the biggest issue. Today it's issue. Taz is also. But, and then by the way, in a shul, because of that, it's much more chamer. To the point, what if you daven Shmoneh Esrei without a yarmulke on? You have to chazer Shmoneh Esrei or not? It's only a Taz that says it's Aser. L'chatchila, you don't have to wear a yarmulke. Huh? Moishe Cohen says you have to repeat Shemona Esrei. And the Shlomo Zalman says no. Okay, fine. Going back to, I know a guy that's a very not good guy. Very not good guy. He's not really from. But if you don't wear a hat in Shul, he will buy you a hat. You have to wear a hat. Became Ikrim. Like, what is... Okay. Zog the Gemara. Oh. There are men who sometimes don't cover their head, and that's okay. A woman always covers her hair if she's married. Uktanim, you hear this? A katan never goes to cheder with the yarmulke. So they say today it means under 3 years old, they don't have to. Okay. Says the Mishnah, now, if I were to ask you real quickly, it's not a hard sugi, very easy. What is yalud? What is noilad? What does noilad mean? He was born already or not born already? Just tell me. Noilad means born already. So I'm telling you, it's counterintuitive. Noilad in this Mishnah means, here we go, noilad means that he wasn't born yet. He's still in the egg. He's still there. Yalud means he came out into the world. Just remember that. Now, so look at this. If a person makes a neder on anybody that was born already, so that doesn't include kids that weren't born yet. It doesn't include. But if you make a neder on people that weren't born, obviously that includes even people that were born. That's what the Mishnah says here. Now, just the Goyin says on the side, he says they bring hanoider min hayiludim. He puts in the u. So now it makes a little bit more sense, for me at least. Yiludim means they were already born. Because yiloidim in my mind means in the future. Okay. It's just another girsa. Sponsored by Moishe Cohen. In Schus K'tin Yatzlach Lim HaTorah. Noidim min yiloidim mudim min yiloidim. Min yiloidim also min yiloidim. Rebbe Meir matir af biloidim. So Rebbe Meir says even. And he says it's not a neder. What does even mean? Even yiloidim, but including noiladim. I know it gets confusing. It's not. It's noiladim, yiloidim, and then yiloidim, yiloidim. That's why the chart helps out over here. Rebbe Meir says af. What does af mean? Even. In other words, both cases are mutter. Mutter means no neder. Matar biloidim. We'll explain. The Gemara is going to explain what Chachamim are talking about. Says the Gemara, now, according to Meir, Elameman also. Yeah, let's show this chart for a second. If it means Yiloidim, Noiladim, and even Yiloidim, it means everything, so then what did his nether accomplish? He said, I'm Madir Hana from Noiladim. But the nether doesn't work. Not for Noiladim, not for Yiloidim. So then what happened there? Elaman also. Says the Gemara, very, very interesting. Hanoidim and Yiloidim, mutim and Noiladim. Here, if a guy says, I don't have anything to do with Yiloidim, then you're permitted, in other words, the nether doesn't work on the kids that weren't born yet. So what do you see? That's the yisod he's trying to say. When I say Yiloidim, I mean Yiloidim. I mean nothing else. Don't give me another category. I said I'm mudana from kids that are born. That doesn't include kids that are not born. So Mamela, the reverse is also true. When I say I'm mudana from kids that are not born, then it's only kids that are not born. Kids that are born are not included. He goes both ways. That's exactly what he's trying to say here. Here, asur biloidim. That's the Tanakama. Because he said specifically only kids that weren't born. Mutter biloidim, he doesn't include, like the Tanakama, another category. Why? So the Gemara just says, let's just finish this up real quickly. What is the word noiladim? According to what you're telling me is that noiladim means they are going to be born. They weren't born yet. Right? Talking about Ephraim and Menashe. They should be like Reuven and Shimon. In other words, I'm giving them two shvatim. Were Ephraim and Menashe born or not born? Of course they were born. But it says Haneiladim. Haneiladim means They're going to be born. So it doesn't fit in. So it doesn't mean that they weren't born yet. So what are you telling me? That the word noldu means they were born already. In 350 years from now, you're going to have a son that was born, that's going to be born. What, he was born already? It's in 350 years from now. His own grandfather wasn't even alive. How could he be alive? So the word noilad doesn't mean that he's born yet. It means that he's going to be born. Elo says the Gemara, mashma hachi could go both ways. Nedarim, adam. Then we go by what people say. But Rabbi said real quickly, the word yiloidim, let's do one line. What does the word yiloidim mean? Noiladim can go both ways. What about yiloidim? That the Ran says, according to everybody, means they were already born. Let's just do one more line. Maybe you should go back to tomorrow. We'll go back to tomorrow because it needs a tiny little bit of hesber. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.